Hey guys, Gary here. Thanks for checking in. So let's talk about a New Year's resolution that I made. It's not really a resolution, but people like to call shit that. But I decided to do a thing to prove a point, not only to myself, but document it and share it with you guys as well. So for years, a lot of years, I have professed that dry fire is more important than live fire, and that, hell, for that matter, most of the things that aren't the shooty stuff is more important than the actual mechanics of shooting. But the mechanics of shooting are fun and simple to practice. Lots of available training on them and whatnot. So that tends to end up being a big focus. But the point is, the not using live ammo is a viable training technique. Like, ask that guy. I'm not even going to try to say his name, but gee, we're closing in on like 20 years ago that was a thing, that he won the Steel Challenge, and he's doesn't own guns. But the point was well illustrated, and I've had people tell me, well, it's very specialized what that guy did, and it wouldn't work. It only works when you know these, X number of stages, and they're the same every year across the world, blah, 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 blah. And I don't think that's true. So I had decided towards the end of 2022 that I just wasn't going to shoot live fire in 2023. Just not going to go shoot any live fire ammo. And then I realized, I'm a firearms instructor. That's probably difficult to maintain that. And I also sometimes make videos like this one that you're watching where I test things that require shooting. So I was like, that's going to be difficult. So I put together this idea that what I would do is I would not personally practice or take any live fire classes in 2023. I would not practice live fire, that is. But for like shooting demos at class or doing product reviews where I can't sucker somebody to come do the shooty parts for me, I was going to limit my pistol consumption to 1,000 rounds of ammo. And I would restrict my rifle ammo consumption to 1,000 rounds of rifle ammo. And we're in February, we're near the end of February. So far, I have shot 12 rounds of ammo. I can't really do that on my fingers. 12 rounds of pistol ammo and 0 rounds of rifle ammo in 2023 so far by the end of February. And I had a private class, and I shot one entire magazine out of a 365 XL, doing some demonstrations on trigger press grip. But I didn't have to do a lot. It was a small half-day private thing. I don't know if you realize, but here in the colds of Pennsylvania, we don't do a ton of classes in the winter. In fact, I try to not do a ton of classes at all. So this one private half day I did, I managed to get away with shooting one magazine worth of ammo. So talked to my friend Pete, Defiant Munitions, and said, hey man, you want to sponsor this? And he said, hell no, but I will anyway. So Pete sent me this box of ammo. It is 1,000 rounds of his practice ammo. I'm going to put it in this can. This is my Defiant Munitions 9mm 2023 can. And the 12 rounds that I shot out of already, I did come out of that plastic box. So I started a little late. And that will be what I use for class demos. And I'm averaging under a class a month. So it's not like I have a bazillion demos to do. And half of those are rifle. So I think I can make this work. what I will be demoing with a lot of class, like I already do, is an inert gun. Like this thing is incapable of shooting. It is got a solid barrel and no firing pin hole and whatnot. I also have one of these in a 365X, getting Cerakoted red right now. So this will be one of my demonstration tools, and I will use it for my own practices as well. If I need to practice things that are manipulations with magazines and functioning slides, like that does it. It does trigger presses as well. But that's, then I got to do all the stuffs and whatnot. So that will be one of my training tools, not live fire. Another training tool I'll be using is the standard Old Rings blue gun. This is a macro. And I will use that for gun handling that doesn't require me to do any of the mechanics of shooting because it has no functioning parts. It is a piece of plastic that on the outside resembles a pistol. Other things I will use are a cert gun. So this guy has a removable magazine, and I can make laser beams with it, but that's all it does. Resetting trigger. That will be part of my dry fire practice. In addition, I also can run an airsoft gun. So I got this guy. I'm not going to shoot the camera with the airsoft. It is green gas. I have a whole host of these that we use for gunfight diagnostics. So it might not be this one. I got a bunch of Glock 17s for that purpose. And I also could utilize UTM like this Glock 19 because that also is not live fire. Although, if the point of proving you don't have to spend a lot of money to maintain or acquire more proficiency, UTM isn't really the way to do it because each trigger press in the UTM costs more than a live fire trigger press. So that one might not be the best representation of why you would do it, but it still would not, is not live ammo. In addition, I will also, like for instance on my M&P, here is a Picatinny piece of rail so that I can bolt up a Mantis X10 unit. We even sell those. And I can put that on the airsoft gun, the UTM gun, the cert gun. The only thing it really wouldn't matter for, I could put it on here and for draw stroke because it will track draw strokes as well. So that will certainly supplement my utilizing not live fire. I mean, the X10 works on live fire too. So maybe I should keep that on one of the magazines for when I do demos or product reviews. Although I'm going to try my hardest to sucker somebody that's watching this video to come film with me when we need to shoot stuff for video. And that will be how I cover the pistol. When it comes to carbines, we'll still have a couple of options. Again, not if we're using it strictly on a cost ratio, UTM, not really the way to go. And I could use a regular rifle for UTM, but this is a dedicated UTM rifle that we use in a couple of different classes. We can use it in fish, and we've used it in Adeptus for role players and whatnot, but no live fire here. Something I think I will get more use out of will be this dedicated Mantis rifle, because the laser will give me the ability to use it here in the house where the UTM still has projectiles flying around. So this would be a great way to do not live fire, dry fire rifle practice, and I can still mount an X10 to any piece of pick rail on it if I want to see what the rifle is doing while I'm pressing the trigger. So there's the rifle end of it covered as well. So now you're saying, well, how are we going to know what works? And like, I didn't shoot a bunch of standards of any type at the beginning of the year, but I know how well I shoot. I know on drills that I do what my typical results are. So what's going to happen is sometime at the end of 2023, like in December-ish, or possibly beginning of 2024, I'm going to spend a day on the range shooting some live fire drills and documenting the results, comparing them to how I used to shoot. And that'll be some other part of like this series of video that we're in now. I probably won't be doing this on YouTube, but on some of the other social medias, and I think we're on like 10 different platforms, although some don't get much traction. I'm gonna also try and document like all the rounds that have been being used. So, you'll see this ammo can that has the round count gauge on the inside. Like you'll see it going down, and then maybe what I did to use the minimal 1,000 rounds over 12 months. We're 12 rounds in at 2 months, so maybe we would show how much is left, because I'm gonna try to use as little as possible. But yeah, so follow along on some of the social medias. Certainly on Instagram, it's easier to share photos on that, since it's what it's designed for. And see how those 1,000 rounds are being spent over the course of 12 months. And tune in a year from now, and we'll try and see how well or how low or high the proficiency has improved or degraded, and go from there. Take it easy.